Michelle with Pink and Maine. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to be creating some cards with our Hoppy Spring stamps and dies and more. I can't wait to make these fun cards with you. So let's hop down to the table and get started. The first card we're going to make is a mini slimline card. So my card measures 6 inches tall by 3.5 inches wide, but we're going to turn it and make it a horizontal card. And if you'll notice, I've got this fancy little edge cut from my front of my card, and that is using our Fun Shapes border dies. I used the little scalloped shape one here, and to layer on top of that, this really pretty pink gingham from our Pop Flowers paper pad, and I cut the edge of it with the coordinating stitched border die. So it just sits right in there and you get the scallop going around the other piece. Isn't that fun? So I can go ahead and adhere this down to the front of the card. Now, in order to cut this border piece on my card base, I opened up my card base, I lined up the die where I wanted it on the edge, and I just taped it down with a little washi tape or some stencil tape or just some non-permanent tape. And then I ran it through the die cut machine. So that's how I got that edge. And then I took my piece of pattern paper, I lined up the die on the end of it and taped it down again and cut it off. Then I brought my piece over to my card. I laid it where I wanted it. I flipped it over and I drew little pencil lines where the end of the card was so that I could cut it at just the right width to fit on the card front properly. There you go. I think that's really cute. Now I want something on the inside of my card other than the white, so it kind of helps that scallop just pop a little bit more. So I've cut this flower piece from the paper pad and I cut it the same size as the card, and I'm going to adhere that down on the inside. I still have this upper portion here that I can write my message and sign if I want to. And here is our card so far. I just really love that little decorative edge. Next, I cut a strip of paper about 3/4 of an inch wide by 6 inches out of our middle school blue cardstock, which matches the paper pad. And then I cut a 1/2 inch strip of our pink glitter paper. I thought that went really well with the pink in the pattern paper. So I'm going to adhere these together and then glue them across the front of the card. Now here's the card. Kind of reminds me of a little wallet or a little purse front. So cute. The next thing I'm going to add is I've cut a scallop circle from our scallop circle dies just in white cardstock, and I'm going to put that right in the center of my little strips of paper. There we go. And normally if I'm adhering something to glitter paper, I will use our Easy Squeeze craft glue, which is our liquid glue that adheres really well to the texture of the glitter paper. But we're all out of our glue. But don't worry, we're getting it back in. It's just taking a little longer than I had anticipated. And next we're going to add our adorable little bunny from the stamp set. It's going to go right on that scallop circle. And I've added some foam adhesive to the back so it pops up just a little bit from the card. And last but not least, I've got Hoppy Spring stamped on a piece of white paper, and I just cut little flag ends on each end, put it right under our bunny, and there's our first card. So fun, and I love that sparkle and shine that's added by that little bit of glitter paper. For our next card, we're going to do a little bit of foiling, and we're also going to be creating a shaker card. So this is going to be so much fun. The first thing I want to do is get my panel foiled. This is a foilable. This is a leafy background foilable. It's got that really pretty leaf design in the background. Whenever we foil with our foilables and our pink ink machine, we want to dust off the foilable. You can use a really soft makeup brush, or I'm using our cleanup brush. And you want to wipe off the back of the foil as well. That's going to make sure that we don't have any dust or debris that'll interfere with our foil adhering to our toner printed design. So you always put the pretty side up, foil on the foilable. I just turn it over and make sure all of my foilable is covered. You don't want to see any toner printed design on the outside of your foil. And then we just run it through the ink machine. Make sure you put it straight and even. All right. And we're done with our ink machine for right now, so I'm just going to turn that off. We're going to take our foiled piece out. We're going to let it cool to the touch. Now the foil I'm using on this is our tinsel green. And the reason I call it tinsel green is because all those striations in it, they remind me of that tinsel we used to hang on our Christmas trees. Once it's cool, we can just peel away the foil and reveal that beautiful foiled leafy background. It's just gorgeous. I hope it shows up on the camera just how pretty it is. Like I see it in person, it's gorgeous. And don't throw this piece away. This is your negative foil piece, and it might be hard to see with the green side there, but I can show you here. You can see that leafy design is removed from the foil. You still have foil here that you can use on a solid toner sheet, and it will put that leafy design on your solid toner sheet. So we'll save that for later. I want to add some extra color to this foiled piece, so I'm going to ink blend with our mini ergonomic blender brush and our ink pad called the Park, which is a nice lime green. And we're just going to add some extra color. I'm just going to rub the brush into the ink pad and then rub it onto the foilable piece. I'm just doing it over my microfiber cloth here. It's not ideal, but I didn't bring in any scratch paper to put behind here. Now, after I'm done with my ink blending, I'll put my ink pad away. And I'll just kind of clean that excess ink off my blender brush, and it will be ready to use next time. All right, so here is our lovely foiled panel. So you can ink blend on our foilables. You might want to give it a couple extra minutes to dry. This is dry now. But because of the foilable papers, the ink takes just a little bit more time to dry on top of it. But I love that green background with those green foiled leafy pattern there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to adhere our foiled piece onto this pink piece of paper that I've cut with our scalloped rectangle dies. Don't mind the center cut out with the circle there. We're going to cover that up with the panel so no one is ever going to know that we used a piece of that paper for something else. So always remember, if you have something like that, you can cut out shapes from the inside of your rectangle if you're just going to cover it up with another panel, and you get more use out of your paper that way. Now we have our foiled piece onto our scalloped rectangle. We're going to make our shaker frame. I've got our A2 size shaker cover, our new shaker covers, and they come in a variety of sizes. This size will cover a complete A2 size card, so it'll cover the complete front of the card. When you're using this one, you need to make sure that the paper that goes inside the frame is just slightly smaller, like 1/16 of an inch smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because you want some room when these scored edges fold in. You want to have plenty of room around the panel so it doesn't bubble up or pucker. My scallop frame is actually a bit smaller than that, but that's going to be okay. So the first thing you want to do before you use the shaker covers is you want to remove this protective film that's on the front. And that's there just to keep your acetate nice and clean and clear until you're ready to use it. And I'm using our pick up and place tool to remove that film. I find it a little easier to grab the film and peel it up with that pokey end of the tool, the little pokey part. So once I have it picked up off of there, I can just simply peel that protective layer off and throw it away. Now before I make my shaker pocket, I want to go ahead and on these score lines, I want to fold down the flaps towards the back. I just want to pre-fold them so that they're going to go into place nice and easily. They already have adhesive on them for you, so you do not have to worry about adhering those flaps to your paper. So now I have all the flaps like folded in towards the back. I'm going to bring the top one up and leave it up for right now, but I'm going to leave those other three like folded inwards. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to lay my scallop piece inside. You can kind of pick the sides up a little bit so that you can see what you're doing. I want to center this piece in my shaker cover, and once I have it centered, I'm going to hold it in place. I'm going to peel one side of the release paper from the flap, and I'm going to fold that side down. And it's going to grab that paper. Once I have that side down, I'm going to go over and do the opposite side. So we're going to do two sides first. Again, I'm going to hold this paper and the cover flat. That's way it's not puckering or bubbling, and it's going to fold and lay down right where I want it. So now we have two sides adhered. And remove that release paper from the bottom. Again, I'm going to lay it flat and hold it down flat as I fold that in and press it onto my paper. So now I have three sides adhered down. You don't want to do the fourth side just yet because you've got to add your shaker pieces. And when we turn it over, you can see we've got our piece inside, and it's like a pocket. We have a little pocket here, okay? So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add your shaker pieces. I've got just a set of our sequins that came in one of our Crafty Courtyard kits. And I just cut my package open because I'm going to use the whole package. If you're not going to use the whole package, you can open up the Ziploc and then use some and then reseal it so that you can use them again. And now I'm just going to dump all of these sequins into my shaker pouch. Now we have all of our sequins, and we have a lot of confetti sequins on our site that you can choose from, lots of beautiful colors. I'm going to turn this over to the back and I'm going to lay it flat again. I'm going to remove the release paper from that last edge that we haven't sealed down, and while holding it down flat, I'm going to fold it over and press it closed. Look at that. That is so much fun. Now we have our shaker pocket, and it covers the whole front of the card. It's super fun. Whoever receives this card is going to have so much fun shaking it and wondering how you made it yourself. Before we adhere the shaker pocket to the card, I want to decorate the rest of the card. So I've cut out with our stitch circle dies a piece of our Streetlight yellow cardstock, and in white I've cut out a scallop circle, and I'm going to adhere these together. I want it to go off the edge of the card a little bit. I just like how that looks. It's pleasing to the eye to have things going off the edge of your cards. So I'm going to take my scissors. I'm just going to perform a little surgery here and snip off one side of that circle. Now we can adhere this to our card. There we go. And these are really fun. These shaker covers, they're really fun. You can decorate the inside. You see how we have our foiled background with that leafy background there. We've got our pink scallop going around the edge. And then let's decorate the outside too. It creates like layers of decoration, and they look really nice and dimensional. So we've got our scallop piece out here, and I'm going to add our little bunny. I've added a little foam tape so he pops off the top of the card a little bit. And our little bunny is holding a little flower. And I've got the sentiment, "You're some bunny special." I've just cut a strip out of that, And we're going to put it right across the bottom of our scallop piece there. And there is our shaker piece. It's ready to be attached to our card. I love that. And you can see this Hoppy Spring stamp set is not just for Easter, even though these bunnies are super cute for Easter, and there is one Easter sentiment. The other ones are You're Some Bunny Special, and like in our first card we used Hoppy Spring, so you can use this set for different occasions. Now that we're going to adhere our shaker frame to our card base, you want a nice heavyweight card base when adhering this, because this is quite a hefty piece of acetate with paper inside, and it's decorated on the outside. We want a nice heavyweight card base to go along with that. I'm using our 110-pound ice rink white cardstock, so it gives us a nice sturdy card base. And when adhering these to the card base, you want to use a nice strong glue. So you can use your liquid adhesive, or you can use like a double-sided adhesive tape, like our Easy Tear tape is going to hold really nicely. So that's what I'm going to use to adhere this today. And I call it Easy Tear because it does tear really easily. So it's nice and easy to use, and it's going to hold really well. Now all I've got to do is remove the release paper from our Easy Tear tape on the back. It comes off really easily. And then we can line up our shaker pocket on our card front and adhere it down. I'm going to press it really well. Some of those sequins pop up, and then just pressing them down. And look at that. So fun. So cute. And everything just shakes around the entire card. How fun is that? Now for our last card, I've just got an A2 side folding card that I'm going to use horizontally. And we're just going to use some cardstock and pattern paper to make a quick and simple yet sweet birthday card with the Hoppy Spring set. So the first thing I'm going to adhere is I've got some of our Night Sky cardstock, this beautiful purple, and I've cut one of the edges here with our scallop border dies. And it's got little stitching edges. It's really cute. I really like how that comes out. I'm just going to center that on my card. We've got a little white at the top and a little white at the bottom. My next piece is this gorgeous plaid. I love plaid. This is from our Year-Round Plaids paper pad. That's going to go on the purple piece like that. And then I've got a strip of Streetlight Yellow and then a strip of this fun teal blue dots, which is from our year-round dots and stripes. So I'm going to glue the strips together first because we're going to add some ribbon to this as well. Now that we have these pieces adhered, I'm going to add some beautiful hot pink ribbon. It's from my stash. And I'm just going to put it along the bottom of that border piece there. And I'm going to adhere it wrapped around the back. So I'm just going to put some adhesive just at the ends of the ribbon on the back. There we go, and now we're ready to adhere this onto our card front. Look at that, it's looking cute. Next I've cut a pink scallop circle from our dress shop cardstock, and from the white ice rink cardstock I've cut a stitch circle to go inside that. So I'm going to adhere those together and put them on the card. I'm going to add our little bunny. I've added foam adhesive tape to the back, just so it pops off the card just a little bit. Gives it a little dimension. And I've stamped Hoppy Birthday. I just cut a little flag end off the right side there, and I'm going to adhere that down. Put it just above the ribbon over there. It's looking really cute. I want the little more added texture and dimension by tying a knot in the ribbon. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the ribbon that's on the card, just where I want that knot to sit. So we're going to slide the ribbon underneath and then just tie a simple knot. I flip one of the ends so that the polka dots stay on the top when you tie the knot. I just press on the knot a little bit to push it down into that adhesive and make it a little flatter. And then I'm just going to cut the excess ends off with my scissors. And there is our next card. So we've taken our Hoppy Spring stamps, dies, and even some more products, and we've made 3 different yet super cute and sweet cards, including a full front shaker card. How fun is that? Thanks so much again for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed these cards I've created with the Hoppy Spring stamps and dies. I hope it inspires you to pull out your stamps and start making some fun cards. You can find these products and more at pinkandmain.com or ask your local retailer. And until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.